Hey, what's up, everyone? Come on in. We got another awesome show for you here at the Fantasy Fellowship. My name is Kyle. In this video, I'm recording this. It's Monday evening. It is February 7th. We're looking at games starting in maybe 20 minutes or a half an hour or so. And it's Monday night again. I want to just basically, we're going to hang out. We're going to make our waiver wire watch list for the week. If you guys do need players, I'm going to shout out a bunch of players that should be available in 8, 10, and 12-man leagues. We're going to hop into a screen share here. And before we get into the actual players, again, let's just check out our favorite hashtagbasketball.com. If you go to hashtagbasketball.com, just click on advanced schedule grid. It's going to highlight the current week that we're on. We're on week 17. Like fantasy basketball, like we're almost done, guys. Like it's a slow moving target, but we're basically 2 months away from fantasy basketball season being over. And now what you can do here with hashtag basketball, we're just going to click on games. It's going to show us the Houston Rockets and the Milwaukee Bucks only played 2 games this week, so those 2 teams are kind of the losers for the week here. And if you hit it again, there's going to be a handful of teams here that have 4 games. So these guys are very crucial for our success this week. So that's the Hornets, the Bulls, the Warriors, the Timberwolves, the Knicks, the Thunder, the Suns, and the Toronto Raptors. Now, all these teams except the Wolves play on Monday. So if you're watching this on Monday night, I'm sorry. Or if you're watching this on Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever you're watching this, I apologize for not getting this out. I think I got to start making these videos on Sunday night so that we can take advantage of these Monday nights. But I will say the Minnesota Timberwolves, they have 4 games, Tuesday through Sunday. So that's very interesting. And I believe there's a handful of other teams here that you could probably catch and end up getting 3 games for the rest of the week. So check out hashtag basketball. Again, the teams that we want to kind of avoid, the Rockets and the Bucks, not sure exactly that we want to get those guys in our lineups. And then we'll take a peek at the Timberwolves and see what they got going on. They got 4 games, and they played the Kings twice, the Bulls, and the Pacers. So it's a 4-game road trip, but it's a favorable one. So let's go ahead and look into this. So I'm just going to the filters tab here. I'm gonna hit add players, filter. I'm just gonna filter by all so that we can kind of see everything available here. And then I'm gonna come to the plus minus. Let's tap that, and let's see here over the last 7 days. We'll do for points per game too. So over the last handful of days here, the #1 ad has been Gary Trent Jr. He's about 75% rostered. You guys know Gary Trent. He had a streak here of 5 games over 30 some real points here, and he's just a really good scorer. The Raptors there need their points, man. So I like Gary Trent, but again, he's widely picked up in a lot of leagues here. #2 on the list is going to be Ayo Dosunmu, about 23.5%. He's been an increase of 9.8 total percent over the last 7 days. This is the guy that's been on our watch list the last 2 weeks. I've owned him. Let's see, when did I pick up Ayo? I picked him up back on January 20th, so I've had him for at least 2.5 weeks now. If you guys watch the show, these are the type of players that we're excited to get on our team because now people are just starting to get, like the general public is just starting to get excited about Ayo. And again, he's under 24% rostered. He's been averaging in the last 7 days, he's averaging almost 29.3 points per game. You want to look at his box scores. Let's take a peek here. He's been playing very good ball ever since the middle of January here. And you can look at his last 5-6 games. His lowest point was 22.5. You see a 39, a 26.5, a 29.25, a 32.5. Just awesome, fantastic minutes per game there. He's definitely a starter for Chicago right now and probably for the rest of the season. He's outplaying guys like Kobe White and a couple of their other players. And again, we're watching to see the health of Lonzo Ball when Ball returns, or if he does not return. It's going to be big things for Ayo. So check him out. This guy's been playing really well. Look at the assist numbers: 7, 14, 8, 9, 11. He gets in there on the steals too. And he'll throw in a block every now and then. But this is just a high points and assist man. Get him if you can get him for sure. Lugens Dort coming in here at #3. He's 31.2% rostered, and he's seen an increase of 8% over the last few days, averaging 37.4 points per game over the last 7 days. So we know SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is out. He's going to be reevaluated over the course of the All-Star break. So we don't know when he's going to return. He's got an ankle injury, and basically as soon as SGA went down, all of the numbers started flowing back to Dort. You look at his scoring over the last 4 games, he's up significantly. Just in the last 7 days, he's averaging 23.7 points per game. His rebounds are up to 6.3. Assists are up to 2.7. Steals are about the same, and blocks are up slightly. So all of his numbers are up significantly with no SGA. This is probably the #1 ad, I would say, at the moment right now. Again, 31.2% rostered. Even before the injury to SGA, he was averaging 26 points per game. So this is a high points player here. And again, he's averaging 37 over the last 7 days. So pick up Lou Dort, probably my favorite pickup at the moment right now. We're going to move on to Daveon Mitchell. Really good player for the Sacramento Kings. It's trade deadline. You know, we got the trade deadline coming up. I think it's on Thursday night, the 10th. So who knows what the Kings decide to do. They have a player here, though, that they took in the first round, and he's playing fantastic. You look at so like over the last 7 days compared to his season stats, his minutes are up by almost 12 to 13 minutes per game. He's almost doubled his points. He went from 10.3 points per game to 19.8. The rebounds are down slightly. The assists are up about 1.5 per game. Steals about the same. Blocks kind of about the same. So his scoring, with more minutes, his scoring has dramatically increased. And you look at his last about 6 games, no game worse than 21.25. He's had a couple 30s in there, some high 29s. Really exciting to see that. If he gets 30-plus minutes per game, you're going to expect some good output from the rookie. So only 12.4 rostered, or 12.4% rostered. And again, he's averaging 30.3 points per game over the last 7 days. So he makes the case here. And then especially a lot of these teams, a lot of these players on shitty teams, you think of Lou Dort, you think of Daveon Mitchell, even Gary Trent. These guys are going to get a ton of minutes down the stretch. So that's what we're looking for. Now we have Javonte Green. Now this is a player here who he kind of took over the starting spot for Kobe White. They actually sent Kobe White to the bench back in, I think, this Toronto game. And it's been all Javonte Green. You look at his numbers the last 8 games. Really solid player. If you guys play in 10-man leagues or 12-man leagues, this is a guy that you need to have on your team. He's 7.1% rostered. And technically, on the season, he's averaging 18 points per game. But if you look at his last 7 days, you're looking at a 30.8 points per game player. The minutes are up significantly in over 30s. Just really good numbers here from Javonte Green, and I would expect to see continued success here. This is a really good score. Anywhere between 11 to 17 points. He's going to chip in rebounds, but he's also going to chip in everything else. He's going to touch on every single statistical category: assists, steals, and blocks. And look at the blocks and the steals. This is very friendly for a defensive league here. If you guys play in categories, you're going to get a little bit of everything here. And then you do get a significant amount of points. So this is a really strong player for the Chicago Bulls. Monte Morris coming in here at number 6. Over the last 7 days, he's averaging 27.3 points per game, only 25% rostered. So check out Monte Morris for sure. Malik Monk coming in here. He's only 21% rostered, and he's averaging 29 points per game over the last 7 days. Kevin Love. Now, there's been some injuries and some things shaken up here, but Kevin Love has been playing really good minutes the last, basically since the end of January here. He kind of had a downward spiral here towards the middle of January, and then with all the injuries and things opened up, all of a sudden his scoring ticked way back up. His minutes are up massively. Everything's looking good for Kevin Love. Only 37% rostered, and again, he's averaging 40 points per game over the last 7 days. Dallas small forward shooting guard Reggie Bullock, only 7% rostered. He's averaging 36.1 points per game, though. You look at what he's been doing, a spike of minutes the last 4 games here, 41 points, 23.5, 43, 25. I'm not sure what's up with this here. Let me see. So Tim Hardaway broke his foot, and Kristaps Porzingis has missed the last 4 games. So with no Porzingis, Bullock has settled in as the number 3 option in an offense with Luka and Jalen Brunson. So the scoring has been up significantly. 4 of his last 5 games over 20 points. They're letting Bullock kind of do as he wants. And look, the minutes are up a lot. The points are up. The boards are up. And the steals are coming in pretty hot too. So this is a very interesting player here. Reggie Bullock, you can start him in 2 different positions. I like that. Only 7% rostered, and he's averaging 36.1. So that's a hot topic right there. Jeremy Grant's back, but he's 84% rostered. Terry Taylor has been getting some starts for the Pacers here as kind of their big men. Not sure if this is going to last forever, as we expect some of the bigs to return for the Pacers, like Domantas Sabonis. But just put it on the radar. 38 minutes and 37 minutes, and the man puts up 43 and 48 fantasy points. So just keep your eye on Terry Taylor in case he continues to do that with limited minutes. Darius Basley here. OKC, small forward, power forward, only 12% rostered, but he's averaging 30 points per game over the last few games. His minutes trending upwards. I like to really look at this last 7 days stat line. He's averaging about 7 more minutes per game, about 3 more points per game, 2 more rebounds, assists are up, steals are up, blocks down just a tad, but a really high effort, player here. You look at his last 5 games, that's plenty good enough for a 10 or 12 man league to get as one of your worst players. So I definitely check out Darius Basley if it could. We'll do some rapid fire here on guys like Will Barton, Bogdan Bogdanovic. These guys have made the show in the past year. They're over 60% rostered, so I don't want to spend too much time on them, but add them if you can. Jackson Hayes, he put up a wild stat line the last couple nights here. He's been getting a ton of minutes. You look at the points, the scoring's up, the rebounds up. I don't know how long this can stick. This is kind of all hinged on Valanciunas and a couple other healthy players here. So as long as he's getting the minutes, I feel good about Jackson Hayes, but I don't see this lasting too long. We'll breeze over guys like Evan Fournier. He needs to be rostered. Sadiq Bey needs to be rostered. Mason Plumlee making some noise here, 26.5% rostered. He had been playing. He's seen a spike lately here in his minutes over the last few games, but fantastic rebounder. You see the double-digit rebounds and then the assists and the steals. So he's been playing some good minutes over the last 10 games. He's been on a nice streak here, so he needs to be rostered in most 10 and 12 man leagues. Tyrese Maxey playing good. Here's some guys, just basically we got to the point now where these guys are probably already rostered. If someone cuts them, go ahead and pick them up. Mitchell Robinson, Josh Giddey, Desmond Bane, Norman Powell, and Mikal Bridges. So with that being said, I typically like to come out and hit the plus minus, add players to my watch list if I can. Check out, it's also really, a good idea to check out the minuses to see who's been getting cut here and kind of read through some of this stuff. So a lot of Pelicans guys like Herbert Jones and Josh Hart guys are, getting cut here. I don't know why Herbert Jones got cut in this league, but he's averaging a ton of minutes. He's had a couple bad games over the last few days. But again, I'm going to show you guys one more way that I like to filter. I like to hit percent rostered, and basically we're looking at everyone that's 100% rostered. Cool. But now I'm going to hit the average button, and it's going to show me here the last 7 days. These are the highest scoring players in the league here, and I'm gonna look down the percent rostered column. You see 99, 100, 99, 99. I'm gonna look for the first couple names that stick out. So right here, Isaiah Jackson, power forward here, 2.8% rostered, but he's averaging 48.5 points in those couple games here. I guess that's just registering the one game. So he had been getting some minutes for the Pacers as they're big. But again, now with players getting healthy, this is just probably something that's going to fade away. But I look to see if he's going to get some time in the rotation once this gets settled. So keep an eye on Isaiah Jackson, just not for right now. Maxi Clibba is out here. He had a 45-point game. I'm not sure what's going on here. Left knee soreness with Maxi Clibba. We'll keep it moving down here. Let's see if I can shout out a few more names. Kevin Love, we mentioned him earlier in the show. Bobby Portis, only 75% roster. That needs to be higher. There's Mitchell Robinson, 62.8. There's Lou Dort. He tripped the sensors here for us, 31.2. Reggie Bullock, 7.1. Reggie Bullock might be the guy right now as far as players that you need to add. So we mentioned Kevin Love, Reggie Bullock. Who else can we throw on this list? Jackson Hayes, maybe, if he continues to get the start in the minutes. But now let's get into some of the guys that should be available. Terry Taylor, he's day-to-day, not sure what's up with that. But Josh Hart, what's up with Josh Hart? People are dropping him pretty hot. Well, Josh Hart's back, so he should be 44% roster, guys. He missed 2 games, but he's back. He's right back into his high minutes. So this is a player that you guys need to have rostered. Josh Hart played good minutes, so check him out if he's available. Marcus Morris Sr. getting some minutes here. Only 18% rostered. He needs to be scooped up. Trent Forrest. This one's interesting because Utah plays tonight. I'm curious to see how he plays, but he had a nice 2-game run of 28.75 and 35.5 points. We'll shout out Steven Adams, only 42% rostered. Hassan Whiteside getting some run there with Gobert out. There's Serge Ibaka. Darius Basley and Javonte Green, we mentioned these guys earlier in the show. These guys are all averaging about 30 points per game. There's Andre Drummond. There's Mason Plumlee, Daveon Mitchell, Kevon Looney. So I added Kevon Looney in one of my leagues just because they played tonight, and I think they have 4 games in like 5 or 6 days. But this is the guy that's playing good ball. The last 4 games here, his minutes are up, the scoring's up, the rebounds is fantastic, and he's a decent guy. He'll get you 1 or 2, whether it's a steal or block. He's usually good for at least 2 of those per game here, so don't forget about Kevon Looney. And I think that's going to do it. I'll shout out Ayo Dosunmu one more time, Evan Fournier, Malik Monk, Mo Harkless, Isaiah Stewart. just some names for you guys there. But that's going to do it for tonight's show. If I helped you guys out, don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Leave a comment, say hello, all that good stuff. I'll be live Tuesday night and Thursday night as well. So thank you guys so much for your time. Have a good one. Peace.